Hi everyone, thanks for watching Europify. My name is Amrita. I make videos about life in Germany and Europe in general. Today's video is not going to be about Germany, but it's going to be about another European country that I initially migrated to from India back in 2017, and that is Poland. A lot of people have reached out to me on my Instagram DM and comments to my YouTube videos and have shown a lot of interest in knowing about how I landed in Poland and what it is like to live there as an expat. And rightfully so, because since the last 4 years, Poland has surpassed Germany, France, and Spain and has issued the highest number of residence permits to non-EU citizens. So yeah, the word is out and more people are immigrating now to Poland. So on my channel, I plan to bring content about what was my first impression of Poland, what are some tips and tricks to survive there, and yeah, in general, what it is like to live there, especially as an Indian. So let's get started. So back in 2017, when I was working as a software engineer in Hyderabad, India, one fine day I came across this job advert in LinkedIn in a city called Poznan in Poland. It was from a very well-known MNC in my domain, and the job responsibilities were, like 100% mapping to my skill set back then. I had a lot of hesitation on my mind, of course, initially, but then I thought to myself, what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to get a rejection, right? So be it. So I went ahead and applied for it. And I had the least expectation, that I'm going to get a response or anything. But probably after a week or so, the hiring manager, he sent a message to me in LinkedIn. But even then he was like, you do realize that this job post is in Poland, right? And I was like, yes, I do. But I thought to myself, why not? So after my initial discussion with the hiring manager, the interview process started. There was this first round of HR interview, and that was followed by a couple of technical rounds. And at the end of around 5 weeks, I was offered that job. But the real struggle started after I got the job offer. And that was on two fronts. The first one is you need to have a work permit to be able to work in Poland. And that will be initiated by your employer. So as soon as my job offer was floated, I was contacted by an external agency that was hired by my company. And they were to assist me with, all the work permit and the visa process. And the second part was on a family front. So of course, everyone had their own doubts how I'm gonna, do it alone. But initially there were a lot of discouragement, but then finally I tried to put together, all the pros that will be there if I make this move, and finally was able to convince everyone. And soon after my work permit process started, it was supposed to take around 4 to 5 months. I mean, historically, some of my colleagues had also migrated to Poland to the same company. And for them, it was around 4 to 5 months. But for me, luckily, it was within 1.5 months. And soon after the work permit arrived in India, I initiated the visa process. Now for Poland, if you are coming for work, you need to have the national D-type visa. That is a multi-entry short-term visa. Well, it's longer than Schengen visa, that is the tourist visa. But I believe initially it was for 1 year. And right after you come to Poland, you are supposed to discuss with your employer and then get the process for the temporary residence permit started. But in order to get this national visa, you need to apply in one of the two Polish consulates in India, that is in Mumbai or in New Delhi. So depending on which state you belong to, you will either fall into Mumbai or New Delhi. For me, it was New Delhi. And I don't know if the process has changed now or how easy it is to get the appointments nowadays. But back in 2017, we used to, wait for a very long time to get the appointments because, For New Delhi consulate, people from the nearby countries like Nepal or Bangladesh, so all of those people also used to come to New Delhi consulate, and that's why the wait was too long. And I believe for me it took around 2 months to get the visa appointment. But once your work permit arrives and you get the visa appointment, you can go to the consulate, submit all the required documents, and then along with the work permit. And normally the processing time takes around 2 weeks at max, but for me I think it was within 1 week that I got the notification that my visa has been approved. And they give an acknowledgement number, and with that you can check in a web application like what is the status of your visa. And once that is done, you can either go by yourself to collect the visa, or you can also ask someone else to collect it on your behalf. So at this point of time, it was September 2017. My visa was approved, I got it, and then family was convinced. So it was time to fly to Poland. I was a little nervous, I would say, but yeah, also very excited to do this, adventurous journey on my own. And I landed in Poznan on September 27th, 2017. And my manager was there. It was a very warm welcome. The weather was so good. It was, the fall season back then. So yeah, with a lot of excitement in my head, I started my journey in Poznan. So for the initial couple of weeks, I had a hotel booking for accommodation, but within that period of time, I had to, search for an apartment and move there. And it was a nightmare. I mean, I had no experience, going through such things. But yeah, I would say I was so lucky in the people's part. So my manager and my, teammates, they were so supportive and so welcoming, and they helped me through everything. Searching for an apartment, getting my furnitures, even, getting my electricity and the internet contract, from A to Z, they helped me with just everything. And yeah, I'm just going to be so grateful for the rest of my life to them, just for the loveliest folks I had around. So yeah, that was my first impression of the Polish people. They were really warm and welcoming to me, and also very helpful. Then if you are moving to Poland, there are a couple of things that you need to figure out initially. And the first one I would say is the commute. So if you have seen my public transport video, it's almost the same throughout Europe. But yeah, Google Maps is also a lifesaver in Poland. It used to show all the buses, all the tram routes, wherever you need to go. Also, they have quite good taxi services, cheap as well, Uber, and there was another one called Bolt. So both of those were very affordable. So yeah, but keeping that aside, the public transport is just fantastic there. So every city has their own app. You can just Google it, and accordingly you can download and then follow the schedules as per that. Now, the second most important thing is figuring out the groceries. I was super nervous. I mean, I'm a big foodie myself, so I was quite nervous that, I'm not gonna get all the stuff that we get in India, in Poland, because, of course, the Indian population there is comparatively lower. But yeah, Poland proved me wrong. I could get, almost all the stuff in the local supermarkets. I would recommend Auchan or Lidl. And there are these small supermarkets called Żabka that was, almost in every street, and you can get like the emergency supplies for, and it's open around till 11 o'clock at night. So these were the initial discoveries, I would say. But for the Indian groceries, I would really recommend Little India. I'll also link their website in the description box. And also there was one more called desipolska.pl. So these two were the ones I used to order from. And every time I used to get just fresh vegetables and all the required groceries from there at my doorstep. Super fresh. So yeah, there is nothing to worry about. If you are moving from India, you will get everything everywhere. And nowadays, it's all of those Indian stores, the big ones are opening up in the cities. In Warsaw, for example, you have just nothing to worry about because they have very big Indian grocery stores, and also in smaller towns like Poznan or Krakow. So in all these cities, it's the Indian population is growing day by day, so they are coming up with these Indian stores. So on the groceries part, just don't worry about anything. I'm not sure if everyone is aware, but Poland does not have euro as their currency. They have something called as Polish zloty or PLN as their currency. And of course, you can buy stuffs with euro as well, but then the exchange rate would be a little more and you lose a lot of money if you regularly use that. So make sure when you go from India to Poland, either have your Forex card loaded or take a credit card and use it. So for initial couple of weeks or even for a month, take sufficient cash with you. But yeah, afterwards, when you have your bank account opened, you can transfer some money in there and then start using it. And unlike in Germany, Poland is super digital. So starting from just let's say a cold drink or something, you can just pay anything and everything by card. So yeah, you need not hold a lot of cash all the time. Once your bank account is set up, you have nothing to worry about. Now, one most important thing about Poland is, like every other European countries, they have their own language. So that is Polish. And let me put a truth bomb there. It is difficult. It's very difficult to learn the language. I personally tried it and it's very difficult. But for initial days, you need not worry about, like the younger generation of our age, they speak English. In your office, if you are going to an multinational company, also you don't have anything to worry about. You can always seek help from your colleagues, and if you have an external agency hired for helping you with all these visa and other paperworks, they can assist you to the offices as well, and everything can be translated for you. But for example, for one-to-one contact with the local people, for initial days, you can just rely upon the Google Translate. For groceries and everything, they have these separate sections for like food items, and just by visualizing or with Google Translate, you can manage for some initial days. But yeah, needless to say, you should start making effort to learn the language as soon as you settle down a little, and that would make your life way too easier. But as far as the language is concerned, I did not have any big issues. I mean, going to any restaurants or any malls or any utilities store or anything, I did not have much difficulties communicating with anyone. But when people see that you're making that little effort to at least try to speak in their language with a couple of words at least, then they also try from their end to better communicate. And yeah, that's how you can start getting with people and just enjoy your life there. So we will discuss about the work side of the things in another video, because of course if you discuss it in the same video, it's gonna make it very long. So if you're interested in knowing how is the work culture, how is the compensation structure there, how are the taxes in Poland, stay tuned. I'm gonna bring that in a part 2 of this video. But for today's video, this was it. I hope you find it useful, and also please feel free to share it with anyone who has plans to move to Poland. But if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I will say please consider doing that. That is the only way my channel can grow and I can continue to bring informative content for you. But I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you next time in a new video. Till then, take care and bye.